Hello everyone, welcome to Just Getting Started. My name is Devin and I'm your host. That sounds a little too rehearsed. Like I said, my name is Devin. I'm a professional 3D modeler and environment artist for film and video game studios. I'm going to be showing you some tips and tricks on how to get started into this industry, specifically with 3D modeling. And as we continue on, I'll show a bit about lighting and composition, digital art, digital painting, both for 3D and 2D, and then we'll kind of see how this goes. So right now we're going to start with digital modeling, 3D modeling. I'm going to be using the 3D software Maya. It's just the industry standard. You can use any one you want. You can do 3ds Max, you can do Maya, you can do Blender, or any other 3D modeling software that you so desire or prefer. It doesn't really matter. So just to kind of explain how this works, because I want to make sure that those who are watching this video are people who want to get involved in this industry and who don't quite have enough experience or enough knowledge to get started. Hence the name of the channel, Just Getting Started. So I'm going to be explaining this viewport. This is Maya 2022. When you first open Maya, this is the scene that you will see. And I'll explain what all of these things are so that they're less confusing. On your left, you have your outliner, which shows what exists in your scene. Your center view, this box right here, is called the viewport, and this holds your scene. And when I say scene, it's just the objects that you put into the viewport to get started. On your right hand side, you have your channel box, also your modeling toolkit, and your attribute editor. And we'll go over these later as we get started in modeling. At the bottom here, you have your timeline, which if you want to use Maya in animation, you can. I don't tend to go that route, but I can show you some tips about how to get started with this. And as you can tell, you have your timeline here from 1 to 20. That's the base. You can stop it over here, play, jump forward, all that good stuff. But we're going to ignore the bottom of this for just the first few videos. At the top panel here, you have your view. You can do shading, lighting, some stuff that will show up in your viewport. You don't really use this kind of panel a whole lot just because it's not really necessary. And these you can kind of all leave the same, as they don't really play a tremendous part in 3D modeling. They're just more for viewing preference and whatnot. On your left over here, you have these base icons on how you interact with the polygons or models that you bring into scene. The polygons can be shown up here: sphere, cube, cylinder, cone, torus, or a ring, like a basic ring, like a donut, a flat plane, which is going to be flat, and then a flat disc. So like if you were to take a Pringles can and you take the lid off, the lid is going to be like this flat disc here. For those in my audience who don't know what a Pringles can is, you can suggest another cylindrical can, and it's the top lid. Sorry, I don't know any other international comparisons to Pringles. Okay, on these icons over here are how you interact with the polygons that you bring into scene. So let's bring in a cube, because that's your base start. And you can select the cube, which will show up in your outliner. You can deselect by clicking off of it, and you can select it by clicking either in the viewport or in the outliner. Both will work. These two icons, this is the lasso selection tool, which does as it says. You can select a multitude of objects just by that. This is the painting tool. I don't really use the painting tool just because I don't paint a whole lot in Maya. I use a different software for that, and we won't really go into this particular tool during these tutorials, just because they don't fall within my daily use of this software, so I'm not really going to cover a whole lot about them. If you want to learn more, send me a comment below, and I'll try to explain more about it. This is the Move tool. Hotkey is W, as you'll see when you just hover over any of these. Here's Q for selection. So the Move tool is W. We're going to click on the Move tool, and you get this icon here. This is called a origin point, or pivot point more commonly. And it has axes. This red one, blue one, and yellow one. And they correspond down here with this axis. Red is X, blue is Z or Z for those of you on my international audience. And then yellow is Y. If I select red, it's actually a green. So your yellow is what you've chosen to move in direction. So you can click and grab, and you can move along the X axis. Click and grab the blue one, and you can move along the Z axis, or Z. And click along the green one, and you can go up and down in the Y axis. Now, if you come over to the right, we're going to go into the channel box, and you can see that I've moved it a little. So if we click and hold on the Y axis, on the top right, our translate has moved. The same as if we click and hold the green axis, our translate green will move, both up and down. We're going to take these and we're going to just select and hold, and just kind of drag down, and then hit 0 on your keyboard and hit enter, and it'll put this back at center. Okay, so then you have your, oh, apologies, I used a hotkey. E hotkey, or rotate, which does as it sounds. You can rotate along the Y-axis, the Z-axis, the X-axis, or if you're truly bored, you can rotate along your camera viewpoint. By grabbing this outer blue one, it'll spin it in regards to where you're looking at it. So if we want to change over here, we can spin it along this side. Click and highlight down, hit 0 and enter, and it's back to its normal point. Click over here on the left hand side and you have your scale tool, hotkey R, and it works the same. You can scale along the X-axis, the Z-axis, or the Y-axis, and you can make the cube bigger, smaller, shorten it. As you noticed, or may have noticed, you can scale it up, or you can scale it down, and if you scale it too far, you'll cross over. Try to avoid doing this, as it will cause some problems in the future with how your models look as you try to bring them into other applications, such as a video game software like Unreal or Unity, or a film software that they have developed on site. So just be aware to not have a negative scale. You always want a positive scale. So we're just going to hit 5 and you can do that. Okay, I want to take these all, and please be aware that scale is never 0. A 0 means it doesn't exist. You always want to scale to 1 as your base format. Scale can obviously be more or less than 1, but never less than 0. You never want a negative scale here. Okay, we're going to have 1s. Perfect. Alright, I'm going to deselect this, and I actually don't want this in view, so I'm going to select it, and you can do both in view or in the outliner, and I'm going to hit the delete button and get rid of it because I don't need it. Okay, so that's how to work around Maya, and in the next video we'll get started with modeling a torii gate, which is those nice big Japanese gates. I'm choosing that one because it's got all of these polygons worked into it, or most of them, and it's a good starting position. Okay, I'll see you guys next time. Please like, subscribe, and send me any comments that you'd like. Cheers.